Hey, everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. So Raw after Mania was friggin' awesome. Like I've said it on past videos. Like this may have been the best Raw after Mania they've done, maybe ever. It's easily the best one since COVID happened, which is not because like a lot of the pre-COVID ones were not great. Like 2018, I think was probably the last really great one with legitimate surprises, but it wasn't as good as this one. Let's put it that way. Um, but one of the things I really noticed from this show in particular is something that's been critical in that internet wrestling community, which is just a bunch of marks. Let's call it what it is. A lot of people claim, Triple H hates minorities, Triple H hates women. What dominated the first hour of this show? Or basically, around the first hour 15 minutes of the show was the women, because you had Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria defending against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. No matter how you feel about a one-day title run, it sets up a good story between Becky and Lyra, which is going to be, really help set up the Women's Intercontinental Championship, which is a great piece of business. And, Liv and Raquel, a lot of people were mad that they lost their titles. Okay. So it was a small price to pay. It was kind of dumb. And, you don't like that Bayley got cast aside in this whole thing, but I have a feeling that Bayley is going to be involved in this because I think it's going to be revealed, much like the whole Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch storyline from a couple years ago, right around WrestleMania, that started. This is much going to be about the same thing. And I think Becky is just going to try and mega heel it up. And hopefully it works and the fans don't cheer her. It's probably going to be hard, but we'll try. And I had a feeling that this is the way it was going to go. I didn't expect it to go this early, but hey, here we are. But then you get legitimately a dream match in Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer on free freaking television. And these women tore it up for about 10, 15 minutes before Roxanne Perez, who has a match against Stephanie on the next night on Tuesday night's NXT, breaks it up. Julia comes in, freshly turned heel, and so they heel it up. And then, Rhea Ripley shows up for her standard Rhea Ripley pop, which is always a lot of fun. And the women, we had four women to start the show. And then we have, five? We had 9 women within the first, hour of this show. The women's division in WWE, if you have any doubts about the women's division in WWE, watch that first hour of Raw tonight, because that is an example of this division is fucking fantastic. And the crazy thing is everybody was so critical years ago about the heavy reliance on past stars and the 4 horsewomen. One of the 4 horsewomen's in another company. The other one just came back and is now a heel. Charlotte Flair just had, her first WrestleMania match and lost to Tiffany Stratton. And then Bayley was unceremoniously tossed aside, but she's been a good, hand and a really a model citizen in this division. This women's division has completely and utterly been taken to the next level. And it is so gratifying to see such a great amount of emphasis on women's wrestling when one of the biggest Achilles heels for the longest time with this division, even when they went from divas to female superstars and women and just superstars in general. They've evolved the championships. They've gone away from SmackDown and Raw, the color-coded belts. Now they've made them women's world champion and WWE women's champion. But to see the way that this show went and how they treated the women, that might have been one of the best things that I saw on this show. Because Io and Stephanie gave us a teaser of what's to come. Because when that match happens, that's going to be outstanding. When Rhea and Stephanie get in the ring, holy mackerel, that's going to be something. There is limitless possibilities of what they could do. And if you haven't heard, Stephanie Vaquer is over, okay? When her music hit, everybody went crazy. And there's a reason why Julia had to turn heel. Because Julia was meant to be the first person, and Stephanie just got over, whether it was the devil's kiss in her move with her butt in the air, that a bunch of sickos in Vegas were going nuts and catcalling during the match. because she is an ridiculously beautiful woman and an insanely talented wrestler. But gentlemen, behave yourselves a little bit. Keep it in your pants, for God's sake. But she is a star. She's an absolute freaking star. And so the night after WrestleMania, after Io Sky had that great match, also Io, apparently internet marks don't think she's worth a damn. Listen to the reaction she got at Mania and listen to the reaction she got tonight. So look, this women's division is just fucking incredible. And they know how to book it. Everybody thinks Triple H doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Look at that. Look at that first match on Sunday. Look at the two matches that, like, the women's tag match, even with the weird ending and, a one-day title reign, that was a great match. They were chanting this is awesome. Stephanie and Io are two of the best in the world. That was as good as the women's division was the story, was maybe outside of, the closing angle and obviously John Cena. That was the big story of this show, of Raw after Mania. The women are really, in my eyes, I think the future of WWE in this industry. Because at some point, NXT, some of these people are going to have to move up to the main roster, and they're going to have more of a platform to showcase. There's rumors of an evolution coming up, an all-women's pay-per-view, which they haven't done in 7 years. They haven't done it in 7 years. This is a perfect time to do it. So I just was thrilled for, the showcase of the women on this show in particular. And it's really great to see where women's wrestling is today in terms of, the talent level, the ability, and, just the amount of talent that they have that can work good matches. And it's not just about beauty and all this anymore. It's about, hey, these women can go. These women can absolutely go. So that was, again, really just one of the better parts of this whole weekend was it's just to see how much the women shine specifically on this Raw show. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.